and welcome to this session on making a simple eccentric with diameter of 22 mm and throw or offset of 5 mm. Let us begin with the session.
Let us now look at the objectives of the session. At the end of the session, you will be able to mark eccentricity, set the job for eccentric turning in a 4-jaw chuck and turn, mark concentric and eccentric center lines of a job by using a vernier height gauge. Tools and equipment requirement for this exercise are as follows. Lathe, 4-jaw chuck, chuck key, tool post key, taper turning attachment, cutting tools, vernier caliper, steel rule, universal surface gauge, marking media, vernier height gauge, V-block with clamps, center drill, center punch, dot punch, ball peen hammer. Through this exercise, let us learn how to perform eccentric turning to create simple eccentric with diameter of 22 mm and throw or offset of 5 mm. Check the raw material size using vernier caliper and steel rule. Mount the job in an independent 4-jaw chuck with help of a chuck key. Check the trueness of the job using a surface gauge by keeping the maximum length outside the chuck. Face one end of the job. Plane turn the work to a diameter of 40 mm to maximum length. Unclamp the workpiece and reclamp by reversing it and check the trueness of the workpiece again. Set the facing tool and face the other end to maintain a total length of 50 mm. Turn to reduce the diameter to 40 mm and remove the job from the chuck. Clamp the finished turned rod in the V-block with the help of the clamps. Apply marking media to both the end faces of the workpiece. Adjust the height gauge to a length to locate the center of the workpiece. Scribe and mark the concentric center of the workpiece on any one end faces. Add 5 mm to the existing reading and adjust the height gauge to locate the eccentric center. Describe and mark the eccentric center of the workpiece. Witness mark the concentric and eccentric centers using a center punch and a ball peen hammer. Scribe a guide circle of diameter 22 mm with the eccentric center as the center point using a divider. Witness mark the eccentric circle using dot punch and ball peen hammer. Hold the job in a 4-jaw independent chuck on the turned diameter. Position the workpiece in the jaws such that the center lines are centered with respect to the jaws. Through the concentric center in line with the lathe center using a universal surface gauge. Open one jaw and tighten the opposite jaw so that the center of the work moves. Repeat the operation till the eccentric center comes in line with the lathe center. Check the trueness of the workpiece with reference to the 22 mm diameter eccentric circle with the help of the surface gauge. Now, turn in steps to form an eccentric diameter of 22 mm to a length of 25 mm. Deburr the workpiece using a smooth file. Unclamp the workpiece and inspect visually. Measure and ensure the diameter 22 mm of 25 mm length using a vernier caliper. Measure and ensure the diameter 40 mm of 25 mm length using a vernier caliper. Apply a thin coat of oil on the workpiece and preserve it for further inspection. To recap, we have learned to mark eccentricity, set the job for eccentric turning in a 4-jaw chuck and turn. Mark concentric and eccentric center lines of a job by using a vernier height gauge.
So that's all about making a simple eccentric with diameter of 22 mm and throw or offset of 5 mm. See you in the next session.